matter, this is John Regan, Chair of the Auburn Planning Board. Permit me to confirm that all members are present. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Ronald Brooks?
Here.
Sierra Small?
Sierra Small.
Here.
Jason Astorisi.
Glenn Feldman?
Glenn Feldman.
Here.
Kesh Now?
Laura Keshnell is the online.
I'm going to take a minute here because of the audio is kind of messed up.
We can't have both running, so we're
Yeah,
already running on this. There's only one person
on
online
it.
at the moment.
Okay.
You should be able to hear us on the phone.
All right, let's try it again. Moving right along, town officials and employees participating. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Town planner Adam Menard.
Here.
Staff Assistant Danielle Chamberlain Roberts.
Here.
Good evening. This is the open meeting of the Town of Auburn Planning Board of Tuesday, October 10th, 2023, now called to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being conducted as a hybrid format under Chapter 22 of Acts of 2022. For this meeting, the Planning Board is convening in person and by remote access. Remote access information has been posted on the town's website identifying how the public may join. Please note that the meeting is being recorded by the Auburn Cable Television. Is there anyone here in the audience tonight recording tonight's meeting? Being none. Accordingly, those members of the Planning Board, employees, and members of the public who participate remotely, please be aware that folks may be able to see you, and please take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Please rise and join us in the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All supporting materials that have been provided to the members of this body are available on the town's website. I'd like to remind the audience, applicants, town administration, each of the planning board members to please refrain from asking questions in regards to all matters discussed this evening without being first granted my consent. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. First on the agenda tonight is Maria Avenue and A&R. Is anyone here for Maria Avenue? No one? So, I'm confused on what's being done here.
So
2 and 3, right? These two.
1, 2,
they're making new lots. Basically, this is one lot here, and this making it two. So this is not a buildable lot, 'cause it doesn't have the frontage. And this has 100 feet of frontage, that's a buildable lot.
Isn't this the one they wanted to put the road in part way and we couldn't let them because it didn't meet the requirements of the town?
Yeah.
It's on the other side of town.
It's off Rock, it's off.
The end of Rockland Road,
Yeah,
John, it's right off Idlewood.
yeah, good.
So
So he's connecting this one with that one?
they're separate.
Or we're separating?
Yep.
So does that second one have enough frontage for a buildable lot?
Yeah. It says 100 feet.
How many square feet's a lot? 44,000?
30,000. This is all a little strangely set up. It's all one lot. Yeah, there's a
This
walking
is
path.
all one lot?
Yep.
So, tell me again exactly what they're doing here?
It's up there. This is parcel. So I got the house here. So I'm gonna split that off, make two lots. The one that goes like this, one that goes like this. So it's going from one lot to
That's
3
one lot,
lots.
this is the other lot.
Yep.
Yeah. Is anyone online
So-
to represent?
What?
Is anyone online?
Yeah,
By doing that, this is still not a buildable lot,
correct.
but this is gonna be added onto here, that's added onto there.
This and this is all one lot. So we're splitting this off from this, splitting this off from this. So this is the only one that currently is buildable.
Right, but these two lots are the same lot, because
Yes.
they're connected here. That's weird. That's a weird setup. I don't know why they don't bring this over at a little bit of an angle.
What
It's
is
not
the point
clearly
of all
defined.
this?
It's not really clearly defined.
No,
I get what they're doing, but I can understand what, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Personally, I just would have done it different. Would have made this habitable light.
yeah, I don't know.
Because right now, this isn't, you can make this is a way to make this a buildable lot, you know that, right?
Yeah,
So, I don't know what you have in here between the lots, but without knowing that, it has to be, you can't have less than 10 feet, right?
10-foot setback for building.
Right, but I mean, if he puts a house here, you wanna put a driveway out to here, right?
Yeah, there's
No
not, I don't
room
think
for
there's
fire
enough,
trucks.
I don't think there's enough room. It's,
There's 2R and 3R.
You can have like 20 feet,
you know,
24
20
feet.
So that wouldn't be enough to get back there, I don't think.
No,
See, they left that little sliver.
so,
So that's
This
just
is all.
empty land, not quite landlocked, but
Is
but I
that,
don't know which lot they're gonna build a house on. So if we just say yes, they can build a house back here and leave that open.
is what we,
probably not if they can't get access. Probably couldn't put, it well, it's the driveway, so you could only put it up here for the zoning, building codes.
Code would stop this from being a buildable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
so
that's
put a
what
driveway
it's
there.
all
a
on.
lot.
I don't know what's the plan.
Based on the fact they make
It's
the
already there,
non-buildable
but
portion
it
of that lot.
would be good.
We can do that, right?
You kick it back and say you want it labeled, that you can't build back there.
Okay.
And ask them to-
That's my
And this
recommendation.
little sliver that on
That's to
purpose?
make this lot and that lot connected, right? So that now makes that a buildable lot.
This one
In
with
theory,
this?
in theory.
Yeah.
But there isn't enough room for a fire truck to get through to put the fire out.
And the
Or
lot, the
or
lot,
driveway, you don't
driveway.
know.
the lot formula doesn't apply here.
No,
The odd,
yeah, I don't see how they could build back there. I don't, couldn't fit a driveway, couldn't fit any vehicle.
No, but I want this
I'd
labeled.
like to see where the road is over here and that too.
So,
They don't really care, but this has to be labeled as a non-buildable lot in order for me to accept that. I don't know the other members of the board, but for me, it has to be labeled as a non-buildable lot, just like this one. A non-buildable lot, non-buildable portion of this lot. I don't know why they just didn't separate it. Won't
Yeah,
put
I-
it wide enough for driveway.
Yeah, they'd have better off just changing the way they want to separate it.
I don't,
And the site conditions here.
I would, if there's nobody here for this A&R, I'd
Right.
kick it out and ask them to come back next meeting so they can explain. And one of the, I can state one of the concerns, what they'd like to see is that label is not built, not built area.
I don't know what the intent is. I mean, if they want to make that a buildable lot, they have to reconfigure this lot. If that's their intent, they have to do that now.
Right, and I don't know if they're looking at counting that as, you know, the lot area to put a duplex, something, I don't know what they can only suppose, and I don't wanna get into
Right.
suppose without them here.
Oh,
I think they included it,
They included it.
30,000.
Yeah,
So
see?
that,
I mean, that's a ruse.
yeah.
But it also would require special permit. But
Isn't that almost a hammerhead lot? Isn't that almost a hammerhead lot?
no, that wouldn't apply, wouldn't meet the hammer lot requirements. You need 50 feet in the front, and you have to build a hammer, and you can't build back there because there's not enough access for the driveway. I don't want to theorize about them, get asked questions, because there are things in my head, but
All right. Well, anybody have any questions on the board? Ron, Jason, Sarah, Glenn? Any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions regarding this? Could I have a motion to continue this to our next meeting?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair?
Aye.
Jason, aye. John Regan, aye. It's a vote. Next on the agenda is applicant Herbert Campbell requesting site plan approval under section 3.2.5.15 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for motor vehicle sales at 25 Southbridge Street, Auburn, Mass. 01501, map 6, parcel 153. Is there anyone here representing Herbert Campbell?
Herbert Campbell is.
Could you please explain, give your name, address, both of you, because you're both up here,
Okay.
and
Herb-
give us a rundown of what you exactly plan on doing here?
Okay, I'm Herbert Campbell. I reside at 27 Blackthorn Drive in Worcester, Mass.
I'm Dan Campbell. I live at 75 Prospect Street, Auburn, Mass. And I'm the owner of 25 Southgate Street in Auburn.
We're here, there were some plans submitted for a parking lot, and I only submitted plans for the purposes of the car lot that I'm requesting. So I have a revised plan. The whole surface of the property has recently been repaved and resurfaced. So we want to do the whole striping all at the same time for all the parking spaces. So this is a revised one I can give you if you'd like. I have one for each of you. The first one was only for the purposes of the sale of the used cars that we're requesting. And this one will now address the entire property, actually, so that we don't have to do it in stages. You also, one more? One more.
Technically, you're not supposed to accept this because it didn't get in by last Thursday, but
Oh, okay.
I have a few questions of my own. Does anybody in the audience have any questions regarding this? Anybody on the board have any questions regarding this?
We have one in the audience.
In the back.
Oh, please stand up, give your name and your address.
Hi, Martin DuBois, 15 and 19 Southbridge Street, Auburn. They actually have a number of questions. So they want to sell cars here. Does that mean you're going to have an employee on site?
Yes.
Okay. So my next question would be to the board, how many businesses are allowed to be run out of one address?
I don't know, you have to talk to the zoning board for that one. That's out of our jurisdiction.
Okay, because this would be the third business for that address. So the other issues are the number of vehicles there. So you already have an attorney in there that has a car. You have two tenants in there that have vehicles. You have the electrical business in there that has multiple vehicles. So now you're gonna put car inventory in there as well.
Where are they all in that apartment?
I'm sorry?
Excuse me?
Are all the people she's talking about in this apartment?
No, so there's 2 tenants in the apartments.
Okay.
One on the first floor, one on the second floor. And then on the commercial building is my electrical company. And then we have, the attorney's gone now. So we have the electrical company. And then technically Caliber Realty is the realty company that I own that owns the property. So as of right now, it's just the one business that we occupy the whole commercial building, and then the first and second floor tenants.
As far as a limit at one address, I don't know if there is a limit, because if you look at Midstate Office Park, you got one address of like 100 businesses. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know how that works.
And I realize too that this is allowable because it's a highway business. But when you look at that site, you have a whole boatload of vehicles in there now. Like I said, you have two tenants with a vehicle, you have an attorney with a vehicle, you
Well, the
have an
attorney's gone,
electrical
he said he-
company with multiple vehicles. And now you're gonna have an employee for the car lot with a vehicle.
Plus the
How
cars.
much inventory do they think they're gonna fit in there?
So the attorney's gone by this man just said.
I'm sorry?
The attorney's
The
gone.
attorney's gone out of the
Oh,
property.
he's gone now?
So it's just the electrical company's the only business currently in the...
We're only applying for a 4-car license. We're not looking to be Diamond Chevrolet, and I will be the employee. It's only a 4-car license is what I'm looking for. In all reality, I'm probably only gonna have 2, 3 cars at the most, but we're just applying for 4.
Okay, are you gonna service them there?
No. There'll be no mechanical work done, no detailing. They're just gonna be there for,
Yeah, he won't have
For display.
access to the garage.
yeah, I won't be in the garage
He's
at all.
just applying for the 4-car license to just be able to park vehicles there.
That's it.
And that's it.
So
Yeah.
where's his office?
Well, it's gonna be
In the building, yeah.
Which one?
The commercial building in the back. On the second floor, there is a room that we can create for an office. There's 2 floors in that back building. So like my office is on the first floor.
building here, right?
Correct. My office is on the first floor, like in the back of that first bay garage area, and then the upstairs has a room for an office for him.
Okay, so explain to me where the cars are gonna be parked for the employees, the electric company, and the car lot,
Yeah. So,
and the apartment.
according to the parking, you want to do it or do you want me to?
Yeah, I can do it. So we're looking to put, I believe it's gonna be, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces this way, coming out from the building. You can't really see it, but up here where the road is, from the road in, we'll put 4 spaces. There'll be 1 space in front of, between the door and the garage, just one for one vehicle. And then we want to put 2 cars right here.
Which way are the cars in the apartment building gonna face?
There's 2 spots that we want to put back here for the tenants.
Way back by the trailer in the back?
No, so that's like an old garage shed that was just torn down recently. The pavement ends just about, pavement ends right about there.
Okay,
So we just do like 2 spots painted kind of here so the tenants can just pull in and park right there.
At the end of that building.
okay, so you show me all the parking spaces. Which ones are for the car sales?
For the
Which
vehicles?
ones are for the electric company?
Okay. There will be, we're looking for 2 spots here, which
That's
are...
for the apartments.
No, that's gonna be with for displaying of the vehicles.
Where the grass is?
Yeah, it's now crushed stone.
It's
right?
crushed stone, but that's where we want to put it.
They did that a month ago.
Good. Okay, the 2 there.
Okay, 2 there. Let's see, and then there'll be 2 spots here for 2 more vehicles. Well, there's 6 spots. 2 of them for inventory, 1 for me as an employee.
That's 5.
And the end one will be a handicap spot. And then there'll be 2 more additional spots for whatever he wants to use them for, I guess.
So, where do all the electric, I see a truck parked.
Yeah, so on the right side of that building where that truck is parked, that's
Yeah.
3 cars wide. So all my stuff just sits over
Goes
there
on
on
the
the
back
side of the
side of
building.
that.
Okay,
To the chair, just can make 2 comments. To address the one with this comment about multi-business use, that is permitted through this board with the site plan approval. I don't know if that was done in the past, but that can be permitted through the site plan review. For apartments, you need 2 spaces per unit. That's every type of dwelling unit.
4.
So you need 4.
4. And then my next question was, where's the sign going?
Well, sign for the building, for
No,
the business?
Business.
I'm not putting up a big sign, I'm just gonna put a sign on the door.
What door?
The door,
The entry door here, this man door.
you can't see it there.
This man door right here.
Right, well, there's a door there. and
There's
then
one here and there's a back door here up that
On the
goes
side.
to the second floor as well.
Yeah.
So either door. I mean, we're not looking to put like a big,
We're not looking to erect a big sign or anything.
And where is the customer parking gonna be? And you have a dumpster there, so if you're putting 6 spaces there, you have to have access for that dumpster to get in there.
Snow storage?
I think the dumpster's going on the other side of the building, but that's not, that's where he's gonna put it, I don't know.
It's not on the plan.
And then you have to have parking
plan
for
approval.
customers.
Sorry?
What site plan approval?
Yeah,
Snow.
Is that from us or is that from,
yeah,
so we don't have a site plan other than this?
right.
It's a multi-use business.
So the chair, I gave everybody, I think, tonight DPW's comments, which I just gave them because I don't have your email address. The email addresses you gave me did not work, so if you could provide me with contact information, that would be helpful, so I can pass
Okay.
you along any information.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't work, but I'll give you that information.
yeah, so we're not paving that area by the sidewalk anymore. That's just crushed stone.
Yeah, it's just stone, we're not looking to pave that.
So we just pulled up the grass and just put crushed stone
You
there.
can't park on crushed stone.
No?
It has to be on, you can only park on pavement.
Even just a display?
Yep. Because oil could leak into the ground, so that causes contamination.
Okay. All right, well, I mean, we'd be more than happy to pave it, but there was a confusion as to whether or not we could, and then I just stopped.
So you can pave it, but you're gonna have to do a stormwater study.
A what?
Stormwater study. You got an engineer to design it and put forth to a peer review, you know, all that impervious area. Now you're increasing it over here. That's gonna meet the regulations of the town. We don't do that. That goes through a peer review and then we read what they tell us. You know,
If you drop to a 2-car license and just,
Yeah, we could drop it to a 2-car. We're not looking to make a big, I would apply for a 2-car license and just put the cars over the side of the building. Basically, I'm retired and I just want something to do, and I'm gonna sell a few cars, that's it. So as far as putting it for 4 cars, I'll drop it down to 2 cars and we'll take the whole issue of that grass and pavement right out of the picture and just take 2 spots wherever that you think we could put them.
They-
And I'm
What if
not,
they have to represent that?
They'd have to, yes, they'd have to come back with the alter plan.
with
Altered plan.
an altered plan?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, more than happy to. So I will just reapply for a 2-car license?
No, and for the chair, this is site plan, this is separate than a motor vehicle license. This is to allow the use of selling cars, so you don't have to reapply, just alter the plans, come up with a narrative of what you're looking to do,
Okay, alter that,
okay,
and just
come-
show you where the cars would be?
come back to the next meeting, which is...
Well, right now on this plan, if it would be acceptable to you, if I use this plan, I will just eliminate the 2
And
spots.
didn't you say that there had to be 2 spots per apartment?
Yes.
So there has to be 4
So-
spots for the apartments on there, not
I'm gonna just tell you right now, we're not gonna approve anything tonight because this came in.
Oh, no, I'm not looking to get the approval tonight. What I'm looking for is, honestly,
Guidance?
is to, huh?
Looking for guidance?
Yes, that's all I'm looking for. I mean, I'm not worried about getting an approval
You
or
can't
anything.
park in the grass.
Okay,
There's stone there.
so that's out, so
Can't-
we know
Can't
that.
do anything with that,
Okay,
other than put a planter there, I suppose.
okay.
But you gotta come back with, how many spaces for your business, including you as the employee, where the 4 spaces are gonna be for the apartment. Now, if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How
They may
many?
need 2 handicap.
I was gonna say, how
I got
many?
a quick question. Each apartment's a 1-bedroom unit, does that make a
Doesn't
difference?
matter. You gotta have 2 people working, 2 cars each.
Yeah, no, I was just curious.
That's...
Yeah.
We haven't even talked
Yeah,
about the
that's fine.
traffic
I
issue.
was unaware of that, okay.
Talked about the what?
Traffic,
Traffic?
traffic.
What traffic?
Major problem. What traffic?
We're not crowds causing any traffic.
No, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have those cars sitting out there for sale, and when the cars are coming down the street, they're gonna spot their car for sale, and they're not gonna make that corner and go into your property. They're gonna pull over to the side of the road, right in front of number 23.
Well, there's no breakdown lane, so they're probably gonna pull into the car lot where the car is displayed. They're not gonna pull off the side of the road with no side breakdown lane. They're gonna pull right on the corner, right into the lot, and pull up next to the vehicle
No, but
that's
the way they're
displayed.
going, they come down that road so fast that by the time they clear the corner at Elmwood Street, that's when they're gonna spot your vehicles out there. And then what's gonna happen is they're gonna pull over to the side of the road and run up your front lawn to check out your cars. I promise you, that's what's gonna happen.
I'm not sure how much
We
traffic
already have
problem would
major
be
issues down there.
from 2
with all
cars.
of these
Yeah, don't worry about it.
18-wheelers.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah, okay, so,
The address is 25 Southbridge Street,
yeah,
correct?
correct. yeah.
Yes.
You yourself use Elmwood Drive in and out of your business. I know you do.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So would he.
That's where the driveway is.
So would he.
Yeah.
What?
So,
I didn't hear it.
The address 25 Southwood Street where we use Elmwood.
right. So the house is 25 Southbridge Street.
And the business.
And the biz, they're both
Yeah, it's all
listed
one
as-
lot, but I mean,
Yes.
the numbers on the house,
Yeah,
I'm looking at it
correct.
today.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So, if the cars are over there,
Mhm.
out of the way, and you got a small sign on the door, and one, are you gonna sell anything?
He's not, yeah, he's not looking to get
But number 2,
foot traffic really.
number 2, there won't be a car out in the front here on Southbridge Street with a for sale sign on it.
No.
You can't do that, it's gotta be
No.
in the lot.
That's fine.
I don't know if he's gonna see a car anyway.
No, yeah, he's more or
To be
less
honest with
just looking to put it on Facebook or something, and
Yeah,
someone makes
I
an
just- I
appointment,
need the
basically by
license
appointment
to
only
go-
type of thing.
So I can go to the auction, buy a car, and when I have it down there, and then somebody wants to buy it, I'll put it on Facebook, go Auto Trader, and they come down and show them the car.
How
and-
you advertise and how you do business.
Yeah, I know.
I just didn't
I got a
understand.
pension, so I'm not looking to break the bank.
So you gotta come back with an altered plan
Okay,
to show everything that you need to do.
okay.
I think we've given you enough guidance to where you gotta go. If you have any questions, you can actually talk to the town engineer, Joanna Paquin.
Yeah, she's very nice.
You know,
I do know Joanne.
talked to her before, yeah.
Okay.
so,
So before I leave, I'm just looking at this parking. So taking that out of the equation, I believe all this stuff is where it should be. I'm just gonna resubmit the same thing with a description and just reducing it to looking for two spaces.
You have to
Well, don't
do-
forget to fix the apartment parking too.
Yeah, well, there's more than enough spaces
you
for.
gotta show it.
Okay, yeah, but.
Now, as far as my
We've got 4
business-
spaces right here we could use for the apartment, right?
Yeah. Now, as far as my business is concerned,
All
I
his
mean,
stuff
do
is
we have to
stored.
label out my parking spaces, or, because I just have, basically, it's just a storage area, and that's where we just put my vehicles and equipment or whatever we're
On
doing.
the right side.
Correct.
On the right side.
I don't really think that comes into play for this area
Okay.
here.
I just want to make sure, I didn't hate to have them come back and missing
But
something, that's
In
all.
your narrative, you can say.
Electrical company,
On right side.
side building.
On, it's off Elwin Street anyway.
Yes.
It's not off of Southbridge Street, so.
okay, cool.
And, yeah, all right, so you can't stripe anything until we
Yeah,
come back?
that's fine.
Okay. I'm just more concerned for my son to try and get the parking lot striped. They had it all paved and so, whatever. All right, so we know what we've got now. We'll resubmit a proposal for what we want to use it for, and we'll reduce it to that, and the grass area, the grassy knolls out of the equation. And we'll try it again. So this, so I just come back to your office and redo it,
So
and
you're requesting a continuance, correct?
I would love a continuance.
I'll make a motion that we continue to the November 14th meeting. We don't have another one in,
November.
Okay.
October.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
No, it's, no, I got it. I'm getting my knee operated on the 16th, so. Yeah.
Ron?
So we won't try to sell any cars.
Myself, John Reese, and I, it is a vote. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
We have another meeting in October.
No, the 26th of October is town meeting, 24th, so we don't usually meet town meeting nights, and the following is Halloween, and I want to do that, so. Only one meeting this month, but.
Okay, let me get reestablished here. Next on the agenda is petition to the town of Auburn to designate Whitman Bailey Drive as a public road and maintain it in accordance with standards that apply to all other roads in Auburn. This includes the abutting sidewalks as well as all sewage and utility service contained therein. Is there anyone here from Whitman Bailey Road?
Hi,
Please state your name and your address, please.
my name is Mary Slowoski, and I live at 16 Whitman Bailey Drive, and I am the secretary for the Condo Association. And what we'd like is to put our petition on hold right now. We'd like to talk to Dr. Menard and get an action plan that is fiscally, what we can afford to do to try and make it so that our road would be.
I get it. We gave the guy a litany of things he had to do to comply.
Right, and I heard you, and it was like gobbledygook to me, because,
Well, I'll just give you a quick rundown. Your road's not wide enough. You don't have enough sidewalks. You have to have a sidewalk on both sides of the road unless approved otherwise. I don't know what the drainage is, you gotta, I mean, there's a whole litany of things you gotta send in, to get it approved. And then you gotta look to see if we can afford it. Number one, can you afford the engineer to design it? 'Cause you're gonna need a PE to design it,
Yeah.
or submit it, so.
Current pavement, I don't think is adequate either.
Oh, they widen the road, they have to
The
repave the
thickness,
whole
yeah.
road. Is that
The thickness of the pavement isn't enough,
So we just
3 inches
continue.
instead of 4?
something like that.
Probably just binder too.
So, to the chair with their request, where you see if their request this afternoon, this board can vote, you make a recommendation to town meeting, you're not actually pushing it off. So we need a recommendation from this board to postpone indefinitely, and that will allow them to come back in the future, whether it's spring or whatever. So that's the recommendation that I would recommend, is they're
That's fine.
requesting.
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second? All those in favor, Glenn?
Aye.
Sierra?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Myself, John Regan is an aye, it's a vote.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate that.
No problem. Next on the agenda is Kimberly Horn Associates requesting site plan approval under section 3.2.6.1 of the Auburn zoning bylaws for self-storage facility at 319 Washington Street, Auburn, Mass. 01501, map 42, parcel 31. This has been continued from our September 26th meeting. Is there anyone here representing Kimberly Horn?
Caroline?
I'm here. I'm online today.
Okay. So, I don't know what you expect us to do tonight, because,
So for tonight, sorry, I can let you go first.
well, I looked over the Graves peer review, and there's a litany of stuff you have to get done before we can even look at it again.
Right. So we went ahead and we just got that out. They'll have that in their hands tomorrow. So that has to go through peer review. The main reason that I didn't call to push this off completely is because at the last meeting we brought up some issues, or a statement from National Grid that had been brought up, saying that they were willing basically to continue working with us, and ideally we're hoping that any of the National Grid, but the National Grid approval won't hold us up from approval for the entire project.
Well, I read
Because-
the letter from National Grid myself. I was not comfortable with the way they left it. They're willing to work with you. If you've never worked with a utility, believe me,
That was very non-committal.
correct. So he could turn around and say, oh no, we're taking this property, you already got it paved, all your stuff in, then where are you? You need a definite plan from them where they want to put their towers, where the edge of the easement is. You have to have an easement agreement with them. I mean, this is just to protect yourself and your client. To me, you have to have something definitive. That was just, yeah, we'll work with you, basically. I read the letter. Like Jason said, it was not committal. Didn't tell you anything. Believe me, I've dealt with utilities before. I've paved around their poles after they've been notified a year and a half in advance. So, just telling you how they work.
Okay, understood.
Well, I would try to get that, and then if you have the plans redone, then you can resend them to Graves, or through Adam to Graves for the peer review check to make sure everything's been brought up to what they had recommended, and then we can go from there.
That sounds good.
Does anybody in the audience have any questions regarding this?
I do.
Sure.
I'm Gary Bertrand, 148 Millbury Street,
Yeah.
Auburn, Massachusetts. Couple concerns, I've probably missed a couple of these because other issues, but what I'm looking for is we're the complete abutter for that complete property. We're here early on. Want to know about the curb cuts off Route 20, off Millbury Street, yada, yada, yada. We go all the way back to the point where the curb cut only for that piece of property was off of Millbury Street. I don't know where we stand today at this point, but this is going back
Mulberry Street, it's off of Route 20.
20 years ago. That document says only off of Millbury Street.
Yeah, but if they get a permission from the state for a curb cut,
Okay, that's fine.
they need
That's
permission
fine.
from DOT for a curb cut.
Sure, understood.
There's no curb cut on Old Common Road.
Oh, I understand that. So your curb cut's gonna be off Millbury Street. I guess is we're the only abutter that,
Washington Street.
Washington Street, sorry. I like to, how do I get plans of everything that's going on there? I
Email
mean,
me,
including lighting, everything, you know.
to the chair, email me and I can
Understood.
send you the PDFs.
Okay. All right, because our other concern is easements with National Grid, because we have them as well. And security, because we're having a problem now with people entering up that property and breaking into houses, including the property, this is not here, but anyways.
All over Pacatola Hill too.
Yeah, well, this property you guys, that people are not involved in anymore, could have gates or something put in front of them because the houses are getting broken into because they have access to these empty buildings.
Where are the empty buildings?
The one across from the bank right now, Santander, that building is empty.
What,
They
the old Morse place?
On Mill
Tutco.
Street?
Anderson.
Oh, off the
Anderson's,
other
yeah.
side of,
Yeah,
on the,
they literally hid there, watched, the police have all the documents, broke in the house right there, came right up through the woods. We've already been in contact with them, they're waiting for an agreement on a tenant, and they're gonna work on that with us, but this one here, we need to be real, I need to be real careful to protect my property. Then we're gonna talk about green belt and all as well, because you're a commercial land to my residential land, which calls for a green belt.
in between, there's a buffer.
There's a buffer. So, we have some concerns, I know you have other concerns as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
biggest thing I wanna know is, you know, access, lighting, all that type of stuff, you know, because my house is literally right there. Yeah. And we've been we've worked
Right
with...
behind the bank? On
Yes, sir.
Millbury Street?
Yep, I'm up in that hayfield.
You're set way in on,
Yep.
off, over towards the old common side.
Yes, sir. Yep, I'm that red house in the corner there. And we just had problems with somebody coming up and parking that parcel right there and coming up and breaking the house. So we need to
And you know
protect
those
this.
empty houses up there?
No, it wasn't, that's not an empty house, but I'm saying they come off Route 20, up that little easement right there that's not blocked off, and so on and so forth, but that's not the concern here. So I'll be in touch with you, Adam, in reference to signing because I know there's a couple different stories, and I've been talking to James, the owner, too, so. All right,
So let me ask this, Adam. If you give him all the information, right, and he goes through and he has questions, because this is going to be November by the time we get this back. Can he ask you questions and you convey them to her, or can you talk directly to her? I mean, what's the protocol?
Yeah, I mean, send any questions to me. If I can answer them, I'll answer them. If there's something more specific, I can see if Caroline can provide information.
perfect.
If you go back in history, look information, that may take research. Obviously, they wouldn't have that information, but
Understood.
I'll be the running interference and try to answer your questions.
Understood.
Trying to make it easy as equitable.
No,
for
understood.
everybody.
The original plans I saw here months ago were a two-story, and we're gonna make sure the lighting is above the green belt. If it is above the green belt, it's gonna keep the buffer somewhere.
Yeah, their lighting cannot penetrate off the property.
Right.
It's town bylaw.
Oh, even though, yeah.
And you may be able to see it, but
Understood, yeah.
Actual piece.
Understood. All right, thank you very much.
you're welcome. Extend it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you-
May I have a motion to continue this to our November meeting?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, Glenn?
Aye.
Sierra?
Aye.
Ronnie?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Myself, John Regan, and aye, it is a vote.
Sorry, I don't know the correct protocol, but I guess I just wanted to double check. Is there not a 10:24 meeting?
Correct. Town meeting night. So,
And then the meeting that it would be moved to is 11:14, you said?
correct.
correct.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Right.
That was it?
Okay, thank you. Moving right along in our agenda, 71 Curtis Street subdivision. Is there anyone here representing 71 Curtis Street?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Todd Broder from Fletcher Tilton. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Todd. So,
Okay, great. Sorry I can't be here in person tonight.
it's okay. So, I read your letter, and I think everyone here has read their letter, correct? From you. And then we already had the previous stuff from his PE. So it looks to me like you're agreeable to put this through a peer review to see if it meets today's standards.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the purpose of the submission to the town engineer, DPW, was to do that, but since they don't seem to want to opine to that, my suggestion was that we'd be agreeable to have Graves do that review, if the board thought that that was necessary after having read the submission from the PE.
Yeah, well, the PE was quoting stuff that really doesn't matter. I mean, if the town's bylaws and rules are more stringent than the state, so be it. I mean, everybody knew that to begin with, so that's nothing new.
Yeah, but
As far
no,
as
I don't think that was the point of it. I think the point of it was, you know, the Auburn stormwater bylaw regulations probably came into play somewhere in the middle of the, you know, approval process with the various extensions, and you know, the one thing that noted was the phosphorus removal levels are significant in the Auburn bylaws, which to be able to comply with that, he suggested the Caltech rechargers on the lots, which in his opinion handles the phosphorus issue, but otherwise the compliance is still there with the DEC bylaws.
Yeah, unfortunately, Todd, that's not for me to say. I'm not a PE, so to me, I think it needs to go through the peer review to make sure everything's up to snuff, including the phosphorus removal. I think that has to be submitted in order to get to Graves for the peer review, correct?
Yeah.
Set of plans with the new phosphorus removal added onto it?
Yeah, we can submit what they have approved, but looking to extend, and also can send that to Grace for an estimate of the cost, and then see what they think about how it meets up to where we are today.
I think that's the best route for everybody, then everybody's covered. The town's protected, he's protected, the neighbors are protected, so.
Yeah, and no, that was the concern coming in. That's why I put it in my letter that if the board didn't feel comfortable with the information submitted thus far, that the Graves review is fine with us. We just didn't want to lose the 4 weeks between now and the next meetings. We'd like to start the process with Graves.
Unfortunately, that's out of my hands. Town-
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page that is the appropriate next step, and the board felt that was reasonable.
Correct. I don't have anybody in the audience object? Any board project?
Can I ask a question?
Sure can.
Because the
Please step up
engineer
to your
is
name.
here.
Come out, please stand up.
Yep.
Identify yourself, your name and address.
Rocco Antonelli, 71 Curtis Street. So the engineer is here. Are you looking for more to present to Graves than the report he's already put before you?
That hasn't gone to the peer review, that has to go to.
No, I understand that. It's that report that has to go to the peer review.
It's that right.
That
to the chair of the
report, I
report
think
and-
the plans themselves, as you had submitted before,
Yep.
to make sure they're compliant, and then you have to put in the phosphorus removal system, where it's gonna go, I believe what the soil conditions are, the whole 9 yards. So that, you have to submit to Adam, so we can submit it to Graves, correct? You know how it works?
You
And
have
then
any
we'll go
updated
from there.
plans?
And then we'll go from there.
Do you have any updated plans that need to be reviewed beyond what was originally approved? I'll need those as soon as possible to get them sent off to the peer reviewer.
Okay.
So if there's no objection from the owner or the lawyer about continuing to the next meeting, may I have a motion to extend to continue to our next meeting?
To the chair, should I have a motion to send this to peer review?
Okay. Can I have a motion to send this to peer review?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Glenn?
Aye.
Sierra?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Myself, John Regan, aye, it is a vote. May I have a motion to continue this to our next meeting in November?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Glenn?
Aye.
Sierra?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Myself, John Regan, aye, it is a vote. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Todd. Next on the agenda is modification Casella 15 Hardscrabble Road. Is there anyone here from Casella? Please step here. Name, address.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity to present. My name is Michael Walsh with Walsh Engineering Associates. My address is 5 Harris Drive, Falmouth, Maine, 04105.
Nothing back up today?
I'm familiar with the drive.
2 hours.
Too bad.
Okay, so give us the rundown of what you plan on doing.
So it's related to obviously solid waste systems, representing, unfortunately, Paul. Well, first of all, I have to apologize for last week. We did not track this properly and we missed a meeting, so my apologies for taking your time. It won't happen again. So, as I mentioned, unfortunately, Paul Degnan, their general manager, is ill today, so he's not here. So I've been working with them for some time. We've had 2 DCG meetings related to this with the town. So I think we moved along. Their address, as you probably know, is 15 Hartscrabble Road.
Correct.
And if you want to bring up the plans or just go off of Google Earth.
That's good.
Actually, I have those with me on the thumb drive.
Oh, that's, okay.
You posted in the last meeting?
I was the last meeting. This could work.
That is it. Thank you. Appreciate that. So this is the facility, as you probably know, is a solid waste facility. It's both a recycling processing facility or material recovery facility, and it's a transfer station for municipal solid waste. The purpose for this project is for covered storage, protected storage for their recyclable bales. So their system for recyclables is to come into the tip floor. If you can see the drawing there on the southern side on the way out. So that tipping floor accepts both recyclables and municipal solid waste. Municipal solid waste is towards the office, which is in the very front of the building, the one-story portion of it. That basically goes from tipping floor directly into trailers and then is hauled out for disposal, incineration. The recyclables go into the upper part or western part of that large overhead door, series of overhead doors, and is pushed through the facility and is processed kind of in the mid portion and towards the north of that building. So they take single stream recyclables, segregate it to its components, and effectively bale it, and then ship it out. The purpose of this is to add, as I mentioned, protected storage, additional protected storage for baled materials. They've had some, expansions. I don't know if it's expansion, but upgrades in equipment at the site. And over time, with restrictions with trucking and coordinating it, there's times where their storage is outdoors, which becomes a problem for contact with stormwater and concerns with the fire department for the potential for fires and uncontrollable fires related to those. So this provides, it's a structural steel system that's set in the middle of the site. I don't know if you can see it, where the building, about in its middle, jogs back a second time. That area that's got text around it, there's a concrete slab that's existing. So what we're doing is really replicating that concrete slab, replacing it just because it's conditioned.
Talking about here, right?
Exactly, yeah.
You're taking all of it out, and that's how much you're gonna enlarge it.
Well, that's really just repaving. We're not really changing the footprint of the concrete pad. We're just regrading it a bit. We're stepping it to make it, we've sized it so that there's essentially 3 bays. The steps weren't even as that slab steps down in slope. So it made it difficult for access and efficient storage. So we've sized it for their 4x4 foot bales, 4x4 by 4 foot high bales, so they can more efficiently stack it in rows and segregate it based on product type. And the grading, the pavement, we've regraded it just for a little better access, keeping the slope well under 5%, so there's not an issue with forklifts to access it in and out. Behind where you're pointing to, the darker area is new asphalt, or replacement asphalt, I should say, right there. Right there.
Up there?
That's existing asphalt. It's slightly shaded, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And above that at the building is an overhead door. And that general processing area, especially the baler, is in that general area through that door. So the flow of product, most of it is stored indoors. This would be 300 to 400 bales would be stored in this area in general. And they would need to traverse out with a forklift into this area through the 3 bays and back. And it's temporary storage. Their loading dock is to the right of that area. There's a concrete pad there. And so they have, I think, 3 or 4 overhead doors. I guess 3 overhead doors there where the product is shipped off-site.
Any question?
How long do you hold the bales there?
This is where Paul would have more specific timing for operations than I. I think it's as little time as possible. I think one of the factors in this is trucking and the difficulty in scheduling it. I think it's become more difficult to move material as fast as they used to be able to move it. And they also ship some rail, but that's not easy as well if you've dealt with rail.
You got Worcester, right, down on Southbridge Street?
Yeah, I mean, they
You
looked
don't
at.
have a siding right in back here on the line?
They do. They have a siding here. It's got limited capacity, but it's really just service. And I'm not an expert at this, as Paul knows more than I on this, but this is a main line, I think, as a commuter rail.
Correct.
And that provides, I guess, some restrictions for the servicer to be able to service them on a regular basis. They have gotten, I checked in with them, recently they've been able to ship about a rail car per week of cardboard, which is their largest commodity to move through. And they've attempted and continue to attempt to increase that, to reduce trucking and reduce storage on site. And so I think that'll be ongoing.
And
Working on that.
currently, how are you storing those bales?
The majority of them are stored indoors and stacked. But a portion of them do end up being stored outside with delays in shipping and things like that. So
With the rainwater running through them and...
Well, the best management practice is to cover them when it rains. As you can imagine, it's difficult.
I go by a lot. They don't follow a lot of rules that I've seen and things that we've set forth on this board in the past.
Okay. Yeah, and it's also, so I mentioned the fire issue, the concerns of the fire department, which I understand.
That they're on site with the card, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are combustible materials, so that's an issue. There's a safety issue involved too, having personnel, if they are covering these, it's not an easy thing and can be dangerous. So it's good they understand it. They're looking at ways to provide more coverage storage. We've had discussions with the town about increasing it in other ways in the future. But this is something that they can do rather quickly, rather efficiently, and gain 300 to 400 bales coverage within a couple of months.
How big's the bale?
4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot.
So you're gonna stack them 5 high?
No.
So it says 20 feet.
Well, it is 20 feet, yeah.
If it says 20 feet, they're gonna stack it 20 feet, I guarantee it.
Well, there are some restrictions. So the,
Keep pushing it home.
I'll have to look back, but the fire protection plan is built on 4 high. That's not feasible. There's a safety factor, right? Most bales, some portion of the bales can really only be stacked 2 high safely. And then some can be stacked 3 high just by their density, shaping, and so forth. So there's a limit, and their limit's enforced by their health and safety protocols. So they certainly, from my understanding, that they will not be stacking 4 high. And only in certain material types will they stack at 3 high potentially.
I swear I read somewhere in here, this is mainly for glass, this covered storage.
No, it won't include glass. Glass is, there's an adjacent roof tucked in that corner that abuts it. So the 2 roofs actually will abut one another. This roof will come slightly under it as you work your way towards the building in the western direction. So it's in the processing, that's through a series of screens is sieved out essentially, and then transferred by conveyor and piled there. So on the backside, as you're looking at approaching the 3 overhead doors to the right in the corner of the building, there is a stockpile of broken glass that gets conveyed through there, and they need to access that to load it out.
So, under the worst condition, how much weight per square foot is on that slab? There's a reason I'm asking it.
About reinforcing on the slab itself. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I can get it for you.
Because you got 2 layers of welded wire fabric. I tell you right now, the bottom is going to stay on the bottom. I've seen people do it. As soon as they start pouring concrete, it lays on the bottom, does nothing. The top one, you're lucky if you keep it within 2 inches of the top.
Yeah.
It always gets down to the middle.
Yeah.
So to me, rebar is the only way to go, because you can put bricks out of the ones on the bottom, keep it 2 inches off the bottom, and you put the chairs in between them, 2 layers, standees. Now you know it's going to stay where it's going to stay. Plus, it's more rugged, way more rugged.
I agree. I agree to that point in many ways. I do see it in construction. It's one of those items you got to stay on top of the sub to be able that they are supporting and holding up that
Oh yeah.
that welded wire fabric.
It's got to be in the design, when we see a plan.
Yeah, but even if it's in the design run, I'm telling you right now, they can tell you they can put bricks underneath it, under welded wire fabric, and it's flexible. So as soon as you pour the concrete on it, Jason will tell you, it's going to sit right on the bottom. You'll have a high point, and then lay on the bottom. And they're supposed to have the concrete pullers with the hook on the back so you can pick it up as you go. And they never do, they just keep walking on it. I know, I'm in the business. They know exactly what happens. So does he. So that would be one of my recommendations.
John, I still have some questions. When we
Okay.
get done.
So I took a ride out there today, and I was summarily dismayed because the south exit, there's no drainage protection there. It runs right down that, right across the street. There is garbage everywhere. There's litter across the street. There's litter all up the driveway. There's a container of corrosive laying on the side of the road. Is there anything in it? I don't know, but I got pictures. I'll tell you right now, before I'll recommend that this go through, that stuff has to be taken care of, because you're polluting Dark Brook Reservoir.
That water supply feeds the town wells further down. Okay. And I'll let John finish.
So, to me, I work, right now I'm on a project by the Sprinkler Water and Sewer Commission. The Agawam landfill's right next door. There's not a recycling, but a tipping place next door. USA owns it. There is a street sweeper there almost every day that they travel. Every day. And there hasn't been a street sweeper up there probably years.
Oh, there's a street sweeper there, and it should be run at least twice a day.
But it's not. I can tell you right now, it's not. But this stuff wouldn't be on the road. You can get on the road once, come back once, okay, I'm done. I know how these guys work.
I do, and I've written a plan.
I notice you're not arguing with me, so.
Well, no, we have a written plan, we have, on the means of sweeping, the frequency of sweeping, so I do know there is a high-efficiency sweeper on site. I don't spend my time there necessarily monitoring it, obviously.
But it's not only the South Road that has no protections for drainage, neither does the North Road, by my recollection. You have one big retention pond, basically it's one big one. I know it's divided in half with the outfall there, but that's...
Yeah, we can go to another plan. There's a plan if you want to move to C 2.0. We can show you, well, is that the best? Yeah, that's probably the best. They're similar, I guess. So there has been a fair amount of improvements in the stormwater drainage. It is limited based on where that basin is and what you can get there by gravity. So there is a certain tipping point that we can't go any further. We've added, if you look at the southern section, I don't know what year it was, 2 or 3 years ago, at least 3 years ago. That southern section, we added basins to be able to collect stormwater in front of the tipping floor and tipping overhead doors, get it below grade as soon as we can, and send it through, and enlarged a trench drain that stretches across the.
I see it.
This
It's
is
at
all
the top
new.
of it's pretty much near the top of the slope.
Right, but at the point where you can get it to this basin on
Correct.
site by gravity.
Correct. So what happens between the trench drain and the road? Nothing. There's plenty of trash between that edge of that road and that trench drain.
Right, I agree. I mean, the only thing that
So
can be
when
done
it
there is
rains
collection.
and the trucks go up, I mean, you've been behind a garbage truck, there's always trash juice coming out of the back of it. It's running down the road, from the north side and the south side, so there's no protection. And because Casella can't get it to their detention basin, how's that my problem? That's their problem. They have to correct it.
Well, the correction is sweeping and cleaning and retrieving trash, windblown trash.
But you can't have leaking trucks going in and out of there, and they do it all the time.
Oh, I've watched them at West Street. Last time I saw one, I saw one at one point 6 or 8 months ago. Those stains, they're probably still there. I'm on the road 3 or 4 times a day on West Street.
Yeah, I understand
You
that.
really,
I understand that. But I don't think it's just Casella. I mean, it's the practice of picking up garbage from containers that may be exposed to the rain. They don't have control over what that customer does at all times, right?
Correct.
So, in some respects, in a rainstorm or after a rainstorm, there's probably not a lot of protection from that, at least initially when they.
There's an easy solution. Line the damn dumpster. We do it all the time. Make the homeowner, or whoever gets it, put a liner in. And now it doesn't leak. Or it minimizes it if it gets punctured. It really minimizes it.
Yeah.
You have to do that with contaminated soils. You have to do it with all kinds of stuff. You have to put a liner. It's just a giant garbage bag is what it is. It's huge, but it's like close to 20 mils thick. It's very heavy duty. That can be a requirement. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do to mitigate the problem over there, but I don't see where, I get the trench drain, all well and good, the catch basin's up the way, it's all well and good. It's private property, so I didn't walk up. I don't know what the grades are from the catch basin 1, catch basin 2. Is that a reverse crown in the road? Where both sides drain into that catch basin? Or is it just straight down the road?
No, we did that project, and it's contoured so that drainage comes to those basins from both sides.
So it's a reverse crown on that road?
Yes.
Comes in like that.
Exactly. There's also this large trench drain that is designed to collect anything that's missed by this, that would get by this,
Yep.
would drain to this trench drain.
So, for
And
that
this-
trench drain to the road tonight, right? There's 2 trucks parked there.
Yeah, I mean, this is
So,
their
I mean-
traffic pattern. I mean, they come to through the truck scale. They come up and they tip on this floor, and then they come back around, they weigh out, and they leave the site. So yes, there's probably, it's difficult to avoid a truck staged there temporarily. I don't know
No, that's
if they're
fine.
out there.
But they were closing down for the day, so I
They
know
should
they'll
be
be there
capped.
tonight. So my concern is from that trench drain down. If there's a truck standing there during the day, right? and the garbage is wet, like you said, you have no control. You have control at their facility. You can make the control to collect that stuff, so it doesn't go in Dark Brook Reservoir. I mean, they're gonna tell you it's gonna run across the riprap, but when you walk across the street, you can't see the riprap. It's all overgrown and leaves and brush and stuff, so the riprap doesn't do any good. Riprap is temporary unless you maintain it. You know that.
Yeah.
You gotta keep it clean. So.
It doesn't
it's not
filter it
even-
either.
In a heavy rainstorm, that's not even slowing, the riprap's no longer slowing down the water going into the Dark Brook Reservoir.
Well, I do want to just describe some of the things that have been done. So the perception that nothing is being done is not true.
No, I'm not saying that, I'm saying from the trench drain down.
No, I get you. I understand you're focused on this area.
From there
Attention
up,
to this area.
I see the catch basins going over to the detention ponds and the overflow and all that. That's all well and good.
But it's not just that. There's a 60,000 square foot roof that was unfortunately zinc coated, galvalume, whatever, pretty popular. A lot of buildings have it. Unfortunately, it leaches zinc, which is a pollutant. So in the system, all these drains were tied in. They go to proprietary filters before they go to the pond. That was not present prior to 2018, 2019. These two, what they call stormwater RX zinc below grade filters.
Okay.
They drain there. This system was expanded, like I said. There was a small trench drain here and nothing here. The system was installed and positioned as far as, well, I shouldn't say as far, as close to the road as we possibly could, and still get it to the detention pond, as I mentioned. These are pretreatment devices, stormwater clara units. They're 4-chambered systems with internal bypass. Do a tremendous job of filtering out, of allowing sedimentation to take place with that internal bypass. They hold back any floatables, and they serve as an oil water separator as well. So we've got those in line here and here for any drainage into the system. In addition to, all drainage goes through a 12,000 gallon below grade oil water separator, which does a great job removing sediment before going into the detention pond and discharging off-site. We made some improvements here due to the concern there's some slope from the tipping floor, I should say the load out bay from the tipping floor. So we installed an additional trench drain here to make sure that no drainage from a truck or loading a truck would drain out of the building. That was circuited to this trench drain through an oil grit separator into the sewer. So there has been incremental improvements. There's been a large investment in it. Sure, there's work to be done, but I don't want the impression to be that nothing has been done.
No, that wasn't my inference at all. My inference is I can see all the upgrades, but I see nothing done from the upgrades to the road. So, I know you gotta go back to Falmouth tonight, but next time you're down, take a ride out there. That whole south driveway is nothing but litter. So when the wind blows tonight, where's it gonna go? Across the street and into Dark Brook Reservoir.
I agree.
There's no need for that whatsoever, none. Take a ride by Republic, clean as a whistle. I drove by them both, I walked in front of both buildings. There's nothing in front of Republic, and they're right next door.
But their trucks come in here. They're not a transfer station or a recycling
No, I understand
facility,
that,
so
but
it's
they
a
still got trash trucks, and the door doesn't always close in the back, and the top's open when they use the dumpsters, so stuff's blowing out. But I mean, there's nothing there, I mean, absolutely nothing. I would expect something if they didn't take care of the place, but here, it's everywhere.
I do know they patrol the entire street. It doesn't sound like you observed that, but I do know that on a regular
I see
basis.
it, but it's not even every week, I would say. But they do it. They have some people out there on West Street doing it, but it's not.
But it's not just West Street, you gotta do all Hardscrabble Road.
And as John said, they could sweep there, and 2 hours later, it's again, we're accepting rubbish from all kinds of communities, we're accepting everybody's rubbish and trash there, coming into our town. They leak, as we said, out of the backs, they leak and then they reload and they're going out. And a few years ago, several years ago, they came and they wanted something, and oh, no, at that time, I remember people saying there was no problem with stormwater, everything was perfect, and we talked about the reservoir and how, oh, nothing's gonna go into the reservoir and all of that. No, we never leave trucks The next weekend, I go down, there's 3 trailer dumps, no tractors, parked, open tops, raining all weekend. And then the next day, it's just like 3 big tea bags of all that, whatever crap's in it, coming through, running down. You could see the stain marks on the driveway going across the street. I'd like to see it where there's 0 entrance of anything into that reservoir.
Well,
Not our problem how they do it. I could care less,
I
but I
think-
think it needs to be done.
I mean, I don't know what was there before, probably woods, right?
That was, there was some camps people had on the edge of the reservoir.
So that whole paved area from the trench drain down and from the temporary soil stockpile area, they're not allowed to have more rainwater than that was there before it could even come out to the road, let alone go to Darkbrook Reservoir. So there's got to be a drain either at the bottom of the driveway, something, and you got to keep the litter clean. Because I don't know what's in the litter. I mean, like I said, I saw a corrosive container, that big one, 5-gallon corrosive container, plastic bottles, papers, you name it. It's on the road or in the driveway. So to me, they're not doing their due diligence to keep it clean. I mean, you can tell me all day long. I'm not arguing with you because
I'm not
you
here
don't work
to
there.
say-
And I believe me, I understand that. But I'm just telling you, they're not sweeping it twice a day. And if they are, it's once, and then 20 minutes later they do it again. I did my twice.
You're probably writing a superb plan for them, I'm sure, but they're probably, or they're
Yeah.
not following.
Well, it's not just a plan. I mean, there's been training, there's been inspections. It goes beyond that.
Oh, yeah. This is all garbage. So, I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but this has been submitted as a minor modification to the building, correct?
Correct.
And I don't feel it's a minor modification. So, I don't know what I know we can reject it as a minor modification, but I don't know what the procedure is from there forward.
If the board doesn't consider a minor, it would be a full modification. If the board wants to do a public hearing, that's their purview with that. A minor modification by the bylaws doesn't need a public hearing, that's why there was nothing advertised.
What is the basis for it not being a minor?
He's putting on a huge roof. Huge roof.
We're not changing drainage, we're not changing the grades, we're simply putting on a roof system on an existing impervious area. I guess I don't understand.
I don't think it's a minor modification personally. And, I mean, as far as structurally goes, I'm not a structural engineer, but I know, and you know yourself, the 2 layers of welded wire fabric, it's just not gonna cut it. If you're I don't know how much a bale weighs, it depends on the material, right?
Yeah.
So you got wet cardboard, it could be 4 tons in one 4x4x4 bale or more. Now you're stacking them 4 high. So now you got 16 tons in a 4x4 foot area.
Yeah, I'll
I
review it
don't
with a
think that
structural
concrete's
engineer.
designed to hold that. I don't think it's designed to hold that.
Again, I'm not a structural engineer,
No.
I'm an environmental engineer, so it's hard for me to say. I've seen a lot of concrete go on the ground. I do understand it relies heavily on the sub-base materials and the gravel that's there.
Sub-based,
It's not a slab that's sitting
Reinforcement.
suspended in the air, so,
it depends on the sub-base, the reinforcement, the PSI of the concrete that's placed. There's a litany of things it depends on. And it's a snowball effect when one doesn't do it. It just, it's like dominoes.
yeah, I mean, I'm concerned about that, but I'm probably more focused on, the structural design of the wall system and the footers and the structure that goes above.
I'm not sure if that will be picked up with the building code, with building inspections when it's being inspected. If they would pick up on that or not, or if that's something that could be conditioned that whether that's poured, there will be somebody on site could have.
Well,
Well, that's after we determine, and I don't think it's a minor modification by any means. Just that it's, with everything else that goes on.
so, I did a quick review of this tonight. I mean, not in-depth one. I mean, during the day today. So, you tell me about all the drainage and stuff. So, you have an inlet and an outlet of this manhole. Where am I? think it's this one right here.
Just below it, you see the
Just below
red, are you looking for a catch basin?
No, it's a sewer manhole rim.
Oh,
So,
here,
I don't know if that's a sewer drain,
that is sewer,
or is it sanitary sewer?
that's sanitary sewer,
Okay,
Eggleston Street.
so there's 1/100th between the two inverts. 1/100th.
Between here and here?
No, in the same manhole. Inlet and outlet is 1/100th difference. So you get a clog of toilet paper, gets hung up on the south side or the exit side, right? What happens?
I'm not aware of any issue with that. In fact, we did connect to that with this work here. There is a pump station that sits in front of Republic there. I'm not aware of any maintenance concern or backups there, and I've been dealing with
That
that.
was just one of the things I picked up, and then
We could verify that, certainly, yeah.
further to the right, we have the temporary soil stockpile. What is a temporary soil stockpile coming from? From work to do this extending of the slab?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you probably generate some. We're regrading, we're replacing the slab, so we're pulling out the existing concrete.
Right.
And
Oh, you already did it?
No.
Yeah, if you
Can't,
do
you need a
it.
permit, you need a demolition permit.
Thank
So, one of my concerns is you have the, you have it on the bottom side with a wattle, ECB.
Yeah,
And
those
it
are,
should go all the way around it, and it should be covered on top.
even though the grade is predominantly, there's a pretty good slope coming down that
Oh,
slope.
I know, I understand.
You want us to circle the entire,
Well, at least bring it up both sides, because
Yep.
if it rains hard enough, and this gets clogged with any debris, it's gonna back up and come out and go around. Right?
the drainage?
Water coming down that pavement driveway there, right? If you've just got, I don't know if this works.
I think I understand what you're saying.
So, here's the edge of your drive, doesn't work, of course not. But anyway, if you got water coming down and you only have a U shape like that, number one, it's gonna go out that way, unless there's a curve there. And if this fills up with water, it's gonna come up and go around the top. So
Yeah.
it should be more protection.
I mean, there's only a certain amount that those are designed to take, and it's,
I don't know how you,
the idea is that it's allowed in, is at least moderate rainfall to be able to capture, filter, trap sediment, and then allow it to exit over the side. You really don't want it to wash over, but
No.
it'll wash around the side, and that's why it's in a U shape.
my other question is, what's holding it in place? You can't put a stake through the pavement,
No, it's concrete blocks,
it didn't show that.
and it should be in the detail if it's
And
not.
then,
We typically include that in the detail.
I don't know what a warp in the pavement means on C 2.1, right in the center of the page at the bottom of the darkened area. Is that a hump?
Yeah, it's a stepped slab, and you've got a grade coming down.
Yeah.
So just to be able to, in those transitions, we put a bollard in there to make sure it's really just calling it out for the contractor and everyone, just to make sure that,
So you're gonna have this driveway in like this, then the next one steps up, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's in between that? Pavement?
yeah, well, on the exterior is pavement that's shaped around
Right, I
it.
know the inside's concrete, but.
Yep,
So it's gonna come up, come across, it's gonna be pitched this way, go up, go across, go up, go across, right?
yeah,
You got 3 levels,
yeah,
right? So you're gonna have 2 raises. Paved slopes, basically, is what they are.
yeah. You just have a paved slope coming into it, so the problem is you're.
I'm not sure the
transition-
difference in elevation from one end to the other, but
Yeah, it's-
I don't know why the other one was tracking up and down.
So I think 638 point, let's see. So the first one, if you're looking at it to the right, so the one that extends out the furthest, yeah, exactly. An elevation of 640.2 feet to 639.7, so it's 6 inches
6
difference.
inches.
So you've just got that shaping of pavement that we're
Okay.
just trying to make sure the contractor understood. The next one might be, it's again 6 inch difference, 638.7 versus 638.20 elevation.
Okay, 6 inches.
So,
So you got bollards going along the edge of the slopes there?
yeah, we just wanted to keep traffic,
So the truck
especially,
doesn't back off the edge.
well, that, there's walls there. Those walls stick, the foundation sticks above grade.
Inside,
Right,
but in your pavement there isn't.
there's a bollard there. That's the reason
That's
for
what
the
I'm saying.
bollard.
So you don't go off the edge into the next lower step. You go 6 inches, you can flip a truck over, it's loaded.
Right.
Right. No, I
Yeah,
understand.
or a forklift, right.
I get it, right, or forklift. So that explains why the walls, exterior walls are different heights. And then, on C 2.2,
So if you look at silt socks detail on sheet
sheet?
C 3.0, this is the standard, manufacturer's recommendation for silt socks and securing them on hard surfaces. So concrete blocks or sandbags, I didn't mention that, 10 foot on
Okay.
center.
so you have a choice between 8, 12, and 18-inch block? I mean, I didn't say what what size block that is. Is it a solid, is it hollow? I don't know. Is it an 8-inch, 16? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever specified like that, but we can, if we like.
Well, the more weight, the better, obviously, right?
Right, yeah, spacing's critical, and yeah.
All right, so,
They do get relatively heavy if you see them in practice.
oh yeah, they get very heavy. You don't want to move them after they're wet. So, on station section B-B at the bottom of C 2.2, you have the slab haunched on the right-hand side, at the bottom of the page. The details at the very bottom, yep. You have that haunch. You don't see how thick it is. Just says thickened edge of slab at outer edge coordinate with structural plans. It should have a thickness. And then it says, up above there on the right, base of existing concrete wall foundation of glass processing area is undetermined. You don't have any as-bills? When this place was built?
1995, I
Yeah,
have.
so, I got as-bills from 1943 for the Springfield Water Sewer Commission.
We do have plans, they don't have that detail, to be honest with you.
I don't understand why there had to be an elevation that you had to grade it to in order to put that footing in.
Well, even if we did, I don't know if we'd have that elevation, but you're talking about the detail of the existing footing and that elevation specifically?
Yeah, it doesn't, you have no as-built to go by. It says, it's not very definitive there. It says,
Well, the problem
base
is,
of existing concrete wall foundation of glass processing areas undetermined. So it doesn't say match existing footing, it just says undetermined. So I don't know what that means. And I'm not the peer reviewer. And then you go to C 3.0, and I haven't gotten into this deep enough to see if you're actually doing any pipe trenching, but I have a few comments on the detail for typical pipe trenching, where you have 6-inch minimum below the pipe. It should be like 3/4 inch crushed stone. And then you have the stone coming up to the top of the pipe, and then you have 6 inches of a sand layer, compacted cover sand. Unless that's ductile iron pipe, if that's PVC or fiberglass or whatever, you can't compact within 6 inches of that pipe. You crush it. So generally what I've seen done is you go a foot over the pipe with the stone, and then you put filter fabric down, and then you backfill from there so the fines don't migrate into the stone, creating a dip in the pavement or the earth. And I don't think I see rigid polystyrene insulation. I don't think you need that unless you're under 5 feet, unless it's a water main. But there should be fabric over the stone, which I don't see. And I'm not sure the Department of Utilities regulations, but I would think that warning tape, which is great, you have it in there, might be higher. So when they start digging out a foot or two, they know something's below it. You show it within a foot of the pipe, basically. Yeah, within a foot.
yeah, we have.
To me, I would think that would be taller.
It's a little more than a foot, but 12 inches minimum on that layer, and it's set in the next
So,
layer.
another question unrelated, that you say they have a zinc roof, right? Why don't they seal the zinc in with something? So it doesn't leach?
Well, those are the two options, and it's a fairly large roof. It would
Yeah.
be more efficient to be able to put in filtration units and remove it that way.
Why just epoxy coat it?
Technology's not great. Zinc sloughs off. We've done it on another roof, on a smaller roof. It's marginal on its ability to still adhere to the roof, so it's,
I don't know if you've seen it, but galvanization bleeds now too. On my project in Springfield, we have a toe kick all the way around top of the structure. I got galva stains all down the side, it bleeds.
yeah.
It never did before, it does now. Well, there's zinc in galvanization, correct?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, amazing how much galvanized.
and then on page S2, I mean, the rebar instead of welded wire fabric.
We'll review that with a structural engineer.
Yeah, because you're saying they're not going to go before, but I know damn well they will. Because if they're under a crunch, they don't get enough trucks to haul it all. You're still making the bales. They got to put them somewhere. They can't store them outside because of the fire department regulations. They're going to stack them under the roof. I know they're going to do it because I do it. I mean, you got to put it somewhere to protect yourself, right?
The bales?
Yeah, cardboard. I mean, glass, no, but steel, no. Cardboard absorbs. It gets, 2 or 3 times its weight. So a 4-ton, say it's a 1-ton, and now it becomes 4 tons per cube. Like I said, 4 times 4 is 16 tons in a 4-by-foot area. I don't think that's designed for that. You figure that out, it's way more than 250 pounds a square foot. Way more. So that's what I see. To me, I don't feel it's a minor modification, because you're ripping out a slab, you put a new slab in, you put new walls in, new footings, steel columns, a new roof. As far as footprint, yeah, it's a minor modification. As far as the building structure itself, to me, it's not a minor modification. So if we deem this not a minor modification, what avenue do we take from there? Or what avenue do they take from here?
You could trigger a public hearing, that's about it. There's nothing for a peer reviewer to really review, there's no stormwater information, so in that sense, the only thing that would change is the butters to be notified. Maybe or maybe not, they'd have comments, but that's really it.
John, Adam, can we, if we do this and have to come back with the site plan, is there any way that we could use this as to make it positive that they cannot have any leachate of any kind going into Dark Brook Reservoir or to the pond across the street?
That's part of Dark Brook Reservoir.
It should not be going in. It's not our problem. Fix it however you can, and if you can't, move.
I don't know how we'd monitor that. We don't have a stormwater engineer on staff anymore, that might have been something.
Okay, maybe they have to include a payment for it internally into the program. But we need to do something that protects us, because it's not being protected right now by any means.
Board doesn't have that authority to.
I'm not a stormwater engineer by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know what the runoff is from, I mean, they've done great work putting the trench drain up there, but I don't know what the stormwater is running from there out. I know if that was woods and stuff, that's gotta be 10 times coming down that driveway than was originally there. You can't do that. You can't do that.
That's already existing conditions.
Yeah, aren't we talking about the modification? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
But it's
what do we
already-
go to? I mean, to get them to keep the litter picked up, keep, like Ron says, keep the drainage from going into Dark Brook Reservoir, and what's not being contained. What's our
So the
avenue?
Board of Health contracts with Casella, I believe, correct if I'm wrong, because I don't live in town, for the trash pickup. So there is some contract. I don't know what that is in
So we
that.
have to talk to,
You could talk to Board of Health and Darlene Coyle. A lot of this is what you're talking about is beyond this board's.
that's what I'm saying, I know what our avenue was.
Would it be the purview of the Conservation Commission?
Possibly. if there's contaminants going into the wells across the street. Again, I'm not up to speed on Conservation Authority. It's been a long time since I've worked with conservation. But it also wouldn't really impact what they're doing specifically.
Right.
So what, the only thing this board has the authority to do is act on this middle, which is only the building addition.
Correct.
We did submit a land disturbance permit with this application, so there is review, other internal review by the town.
You're doing a land disturbance? So that's something further than I was aware of. So that's all reviewed by DPW.
And they need a demolition permit too.
Right, so there's the whole building permit. And I will say from the DCG meetings we had, the fire department is up there all the time. I don't know if it's once a week or more often, but they are there. There have been fires in other facilities around the state and areas. It's not something they don't want to happen.
No,
So they do work with them all the time.
because the landfill in Agawam one last year, they had an underground fire. It took 6 weeks to put it out.
Yeah.
6 weeks. Stink.
I will say, this is just my personal opinion, that there's an opportunity to make an improvement here, and it's pretty limited in scope. We would love to be able to do that this year, to be able to construct it, and from a, just compliance safety standpoint, but I understand your concerns. That's just a personal opinion from that.
But just so you know, that's the picture I took of the corrosive container across the street. It didn't come from anywhere else but them, so.
Yeah,
That's not a good representation of keeping the street clean twice a day.
it's not unless it fell out just before you drove there, but who knows? It could have been.
Still, but if somebody sees it fall over, they get out of the truck, whatever, go pick it up. I mean,
Somebody should have, yeah.
absolutely.
No question. I will say it's not just Casella traffic through here, so they don't have ultimate control necessarily of any
Well, they're at
incident.
the end of the road.
Right.
They are, no question, but just so you understand, it's not just Casella trucks that traffic through there.
No, but it's not like Casella trucks that traffic that far.
No.
I mean, they take other tipping fees and all that, they come in with other trucks, but it's their job to police those trucks that are going on their property.
Right. I mean,
Obviously, that's not being done.
In this instance, no, for sure. Yeah.
What's that?
In this instance, no, somebody didn't police this and pick this up.
No, but I mean, if you walk up and down the street yourself, you see all kinds of stuff, and I want to know why the grass is turning blue.
It's rained a lot.
No. I got, walking
It's
down, it's kind of
consistently
shocking,
not
it's a
nice.
shocking blue. You'll see the stem of the reed of grass, it comes up and part of the stem is blue, part of this leaf is blue, part of that leaf is blue. It's almost like somebody went in there and hand painted it.
It's Kentucky
Weird.
bluegrass.
Yeah, okay, fine. Sure. So,
I'll make a motion that we not consider it a minor modification and that we consider it.
What change does that make? There's just a public hearing.
correct.
Okay.
And it gives us time to talk to the Board of Health about this too.
I mean, if we want to just talk to the Board of Health, can we just continue it,
We can continue it.
have the conversation with the Board of Health?
We can do that.
But how is the existing conditions connected to the modification? That's what I don't understand. Like, how is that?
Well, what I'm looking at is all those slope out, correct? All those bays slope out to the pavement. I don't know what's gonna get caught by the drainage on the south side.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know what's in the trash that's being baled.
Sure.
So my thought is instead of just waiting until the next meeting, which is 4 weeks out, if the applicant wants to just do the public hearing, because I need 3 weeks to advertise that, if you decide in 4 weeks that you still want to do a public hearing, that's pushing them out 2 months. Does the applicant want to pay the $182 plus, whether there's 6 rate abutters? There aren't too many abutters to the property. Pay, say, pay the $200 or $300 and try to speed it up, or take the risk of it being, take that risk that you're not gonna have a decision until a month's out. That's gonna be major and push it further out.
Yeah,
It's,
I think,
kind of leave that on the,
yeah, not that I want to rush through the process, but speed, just for this part of what we've talked about tonight, the roof itself, I think there's real benefit to having it, even in the short term.
Oh, there's no question there's benefit to it.
So-
I'm not arguing that point.
So in that case, yeah, I think we'd be open to, and I'm sure the client would be open to paying the fees to be able to try to keep it.
probably be
Reasonable time.
$225 in that range for the advertising amount.
Yeah, I'm sure that's.
So
not
what are you
a
saying,
Is that
Adam?
gonna
Or
push them
what are
out
you
2 months?
proposing?
If you wait until the next meeting to determine if it's gonna be major or
November.
minor,
Oh,
that's
okay,
what-
we can determine right now whether we want a public
Farther
hearing
out.
or not, right?
And then we're talking,
So we just postpone to the next meeting?
No.
What he's saying is, we call for a public hearing, they pay the money to speed it up, so by the next meeting, well, the week after the next meeting, we'd have a public hearing, correct?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
we'd have a public hearing on the 14th of November is the next meeting, if you can give me the fees.
The 14th is town meeting.
I'm kind of putting them then to make the decision, instead
That
of
mean you have
putting it
to-
on this board,
Does that mean
if
you
the
go,
applicant wants to just.
24th is town meeting.
the 24th town meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the 14th is the next meeting too, right?
Right, which is a month out.
Yeah, that's fine, but I mean, if we don't do a public hearing, we wait, we're putting them out 7 weeks.
Right. That's what-
Minimum.
That's what I wouldn't want to put on the applicant, is to push it that farther out and still have it delayed further until the beginning of the next year.
So this is assuming this is rejected as a minor site plan
Yeah,
application?
whether it's tonight or next meeting rejected, my advice is just to, regardless of the decision, go to the public hearing and have the applicant spend a couple $100.
It's short change.
I get that, I mean, I'm just trying to understand the other parts of it, but yeah.
And usually there's only one meeting in November and one in December because of the holidays, so that time frame could be extended, and that's
Into
what I think we're
January.
on to avoid.
Oh. You made a motion, didn't you? Can you repeat your motion, please?
Well, that was going to be to I was going to make a motion that we not consider it a minor modification, that we consider it a major or substantive modification.
And with that, that requires a public hearing, correct?
Correct.
That's automatic, correct? So, do I have a second to that motion? Anybody? I can't second it,
Yeah, I'll second it.
but, all those in favor? Glenn?
Aye.
Sierra?
Hi.
Ron?
Aye.
Jason? Myself, John Reeves, and aye. It is a vote. So I guess we'll see you at the public hearing.
If you want to get the abutters, list me assessors this week, they can turn it around quick, so you can get me the fees quick, so we're not delaying anything.
Correct, yeah, we can do that
The
tomorrow.
advertising.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Is the public hearing part of the planning board meeting or is that?
Yep.
You do a wonderful job at presentation.
You do, you do a
I don't know
great job.
about that.
I felt bad.
It's not you, I mean, we see it all the time, I see it a lot.
Yeah, it's a challenging business, you know,
Yeah.
And you're fighting an uphill battle and don't even know what the hill is. Right? Or how big the hill is. Okay, next on the agenda is any decisions. There are none, correct?
No.
So may I have a motion to approve the meetings from our 9/12/2023 meeting?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Glenn?
Aye.
Sierra?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Myself, John Reeves, and aye, it is a vote. May I have a motion to approve the 9/26/2023 meeting minutes as submitted?
Is that in your,
Hmm?
was that in your packet?
I don't know, it's right here on the thing.
I don't think I had it in your packet.
Okay.
Is that the one you sent the notice on, Danielle?
I
You were gonna
had
win.
prior meeting.
Yeah, you put it into an
Yeah.
email, right?
It's this, right?
Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure, because I,
Oh, 9/12, is that what we're talking about?
'cause I didn't have a chance to put it in the
No.
packets.
She sent it out by email because she
Oh,
wanted to get into this meeting.
We don't have the 26th.
Yeah, you do, it's in your email.
Ah, okay.
So, we won't vote on that tonight because you haven't had a chance to read it. The people that haven't had a chance to read it. So, may I have a motion to continue the approval of the meeting minutes of 9/26/2023 till our next planning board meeting.
So moved.
Have a
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Myself, John Reed, an aye. Is there any new business unforeseen by the chair? No. Any town planner update?
Not this time.
May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
May I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
I myself, John Regan, is an aye, it is a vote. The meeting is now adjourned.